A vessel's shipboard management system should contain detailed emergency procedures for fire protection and firefighting. However, these need to be regularly reviewed and tested and rehearsed with onboard drills. An important outcome from planning and the basis of all emergency responses is the muster list. This defines where everyone reports to in an emergency and what their duties are. This allows crew to prepare themselves for their duties, including any role that they might have as a backup if someone else is not available. A properly planned muster list should match the roles of the crew to their experience, knowledge, and physical fitness. The person in overall command of directing firefighting operations is usually the master. Their responsibilities include formulating a plan to fight a fire, organizing teams, and allocating roles to the team. But they should also regularly monitor firefighting plans to see that they are effective. In some firefighting situations, we will have an on-scene commander. The on-scene commander is in charge of operations at the scene of the fire, under the direction of the overall commander. Typically, the on-scene commander will be the vessel's chief officer or chief engineer. When creating or reviewing firefighting plans, we need to consider the limitations on the use of firefighting media. For instance, water may not be effective on flammable liquids, those with a flash point less than 29 degrees Celsius, since it will not prevent the evolution of flammable vapor. Water applied to some burning chemicals will make the fire worse and, if applied to a burning, non-water soluble liquid, it can cause it to spread. When foam is applied to some water-soluble products, they can absorb the water and break down the foam, reducing its effectiveness. Carbon dioxide reacts with some metals, such as magnesium, and will not cool a fire. Some gases used in fire-suppressing systems, such as FM200, can be dangerous to inhale if they have been exposed to a very hot surface. So firefighting plans need to take this into account, and crew need to be made aware of these dangers. We need careful planning for fires involving dangerous goods. By obtaining the UN number and proper shipping name from the cargo manifest, the crew can consult the IMO's Emergency Response Procedures for Ships Carrying Dangerous Goods, the EMS Guide. This is contained in the supplement to the IMDG code and contains advice on the best tactics to fight the fire by referencing the appropriate emergency schedule in the dangerous goods list. The IMDG code also gives the characteristics of dangerous goods. In some cases, the best tactic is to leave the dangerous goods to burn themselves out, using boundary cooling to stop the fire from spreading. When in port, we will have to plan and control the first response to a fire. However, with shore firefighters at hand, it could be that a fire chief takes full charge of the situation after a briefing from the master, though the master retains overall responsibility for the vessel. For a tanker fire on a refinery berth in the USA, the Oil Pollution Act 1990 requires there to be a qualified individual associated with the facility. This person represents the facility and liaises with local firefighters. They can be contacted and are able to obtain resources such as professional salvage and firefighting teams. To check if firefighting plans are effective and increase their resilience, we need to have effective onboard fire drills. Drills also help to check equipment and train personnel in its use. They also serve as a reminder to the crew of the dangers of a fire. To be effective, a drill has to be as realistic as possible and have defined, measurable objectives. This means using a location where a fire could start and varying it with subsequent drills. Using the actual people and equipment that would be involved and simulating the consequences of a fire, such as a power failure, secondary fires, and injuries. It's also important to record events and to debrief after the drill. This should be done to consider good and bad points, as well as actions required, and to test improvements for the future. Here is a reminder of the main learning points from this chapter. The muster list plays a key role in how we organize firefighting, so it should be regularly reviewed. Firefighting plans need to take account of the dangers of applying some types of extinguishing agents in certain situations, for instance with dangerous goods. Regular, realistic fire drills are essential to build up the resilience of the crew, to enable them to cope in a real emergency.